I knew something was off the second I saw he'd seated himself between my best friend and her husband. And no, I'm not talking about a catering issue. It was our 5th annual Friendsgiving, and I'd told myself it would be fine. That the lingering tension I'd been feeling wasn't real. That I was just being paranoid. That the way my husband laughed just a little too hard at Maddie's jokes, or the way she touched his arm during dinner last month, or how he suddenly started watching that dumb show she liked, were all just coincidences. Spoiler, they were. But back to the seating chart. Because that thing was basically a crime scene once I looked close enough. I'd printed out the place cards like I do every year, cute little pumpkins, everyone's names in gold cursive. But this time, he insisted on helping with the layout. Said he wanted to mix it up. Which, in hindsight, is like a fox asking to babysit your chickens because he's feeling helpful. He placed himself directly between Maddie and her husband, Eric. Let that sink in. My husband, was planning to play wingman and third wheel simultaneously. Like a human Tinder dashboard, just flipping tabs between two open affairs he thought I was too busy basting a turkey to notice. I guess this is the part where I say, but it wasn't always like this. Except it kind of was. See, I've always hosted. I'm the planner. The one who starts the group chat, texts reminders, makes the Pinterest board, irons the tablecloth. And he, Evan, used to show up with flowers for me. Real ones, not gas station ones. He used to kiss me while the gravy simmered and whisper things like, "How did I get this lucky?" Now he just asks if the stuffing is gluten-free for Maddie's sake. I didn't want to believe it, not at first. I'm not a jealous person, I'm really not. I've sat through years of Maddie's so naturally pretty, and Maddie's so cool about her open relationship, and Maddie says I'd look good in corduroy. But the man I married, the one I shared a mortgage, a cat, and a shared Spotify premium account with, was suddenly dressing like a Brooklyn barista and bringing up polyamory mid-salad. So yeah, by the time I saw that seating chart, I knew exactly what was going on. And I knew exactly what I was going to do. Now, I'm not saying I'm proud of what happened next, but I am saying it was the best damn Friendsgiving entertainment this group has ever seen. Because if he wanted drama, I was going to give him the whole damn stage. I swapped the place cards, just a tiny switch. Subtle, surgical, no one noticed. And then I printed 2 custom cards, ones he wouldn't see until it was too late. Each one had a toast on the back, a personalized, heartfelt little message. He'd written one for Maddie, I'd intercepted it in his notes app weeks earlier. Called her his North Star. Gag me. Hers was easier. I made one up from scratch, but oh, did it sound just like her. All breathy and spiritual, like a girl who owns a lot of linen pants. I taped them under the place cards, so when it came time for our annual gratitude toast, the one I always make people read aloud, it's tradition, they'd read exactly what I'd planned. In front of 12 people, including Maddie's husband. I could have said something, confronted him, screamed, but why play checkers when you can play chess with champagne and passive aggression? Anyway, that was the setup. What came next? Oh honey, buckle up. There's this moment, right before the chaos, when everything's still normal. People were laughing, passing mashed potatoes, asking if the cranberry sauce was homemade. It wasn't. It was from a can, sue me. My mother's silverware was clinking against borrowed plates. The lights were dimmed just right, and the fireplace crackled like we lived in a Hallmark movie instead of the ticking bomb of a marriage. I almost didn't go through with it. I really didn't. I stood there in the kitchen, one hand on the gravy boat, the other shaking with adrenaline, thinking, am I really doing this? Am I really about to go nuclear on Friendsgiving? Then I heard Maddie giggle at something Evan whispered, and that was it. Game on. I walked in smiling, holding the little silver tray like I was serving up dessert instead of social destruction. All right, y'all, I chirped, trying to sound as breezy as possible. Before we dive into pie, let's do what we always do, our gratitude toasts. Everyone clapped, because they're used to my wholesome hostess persona. Little did they know, She died somewhere between Evan's search history and Maddie's perfume on his sweater. Oh, and this year, I added, Evan had a cute idea. He wrote personalized toasts for a couple of us. I shot him a smile so fake it could have run for office. Evan blinked. I did. I tapped the place cards. You left them under these, so sweet of you. He turned pale. Maddie went still. Her fork froze halfway to her mouth. Bingo. Let's start with Evan, I said, setting the tray down and walking behind him like a game show hostess revealing the grand prize. Go ahead, babe. Read the one under your card. He hesitated. For a split second, I saw panic in his eyes, like a kid caught with a vape in church. But he couldn't back out now. Not in front of our friends, not with me grinning like Martha Stewart on something stronger than wine. So he lifted the card. Read the printed words slowly. To Maddie, he began, voice cracking just a little, you are my northern light, the compass that points me back to who I am. When you laugh, it feels like home. Dead silence. Eric, the actual husband, let out a noise. Not a word, just a sharp, involuntary sound, like air escaping a tire. Across the table, Jen dropped her fork. Oh, keep going, I beamed. There's more. Evan swallowed. I feel like I've been living asleep, but you woke me up. If things were different, if timing wasn't so cruel, he stopped, couldn't finish, couldn't look up. And honestly, that was the real dessert. But it got better. Because next up, Maddie. I turned to her like a camp counselor handing out truth or dare slips. Your turn. She stared at me. Her hand trembled as she slid the card from beneath her plate. Her eyes scanned the message, and I swear on all the gravy in the world, she almost didn't read it out loud. But again, too many eyes, too many expectations, too much wine. She cleared her throat. To Evan, she said, voice barely above a whisper. You make me feel seen, you make me feel alive in a way Eric never could. I hate lying, I hate sneaking, but when I'm near you, I forget why I ever said I do to someone else. Boom. That was the sound of Friendsgiving imploding. Eric stood up, chair screeched. He looked at Maddie like he didn't recognize her face anymore. His own mouth was open, but no sound came out. Evan, still holding his toast like a murder weapon, stood up too. I didn't write that, he said. I never wrote that for her. What the hell is going on? Oh, really? I shot back. Because I found it in your notes app on October 30th at 11:16 p.m., sandwiched right between Trader Joe's shopping list and things to say if she suspects. Yeah, I went through his phone. Sue me again. Maddie gasped. Eric just walked out. No words, just gone. And Evan, well, Evan just stood there, like a deflated beach ball in human form. Anyway, I said, grabbing the pie slicer, who wants pumpkin? No one did. Obviously. They were too busy either whispering, texting, or mentally replaying every red flag they'd ever ignored. But me, I felt like Beyoncé in the Lemonade elevator scene. Because yes, it was messy. And yes, maybe I ruined a few friendships that night, but I also burned the lies to the ground and served them a la mode. And that, my friends, is how you host a Friendsgiving they'll never forget. The aftermath of my little toast trap felt like emotional Chernobyl. No one wanted leftovers. No one asked for Tupperware. They just scattered, eyes wide, jaws tight, like I'd gone full Gone Girl on a Thursday. The group chat? Radioactive. Dead. Not even a meme the next morning. Just that awkward silence that tells you everyone's rethinking every life choice that got them in that room. But let's rewind a bit. Because I know what you're probably thinking right now. Damn, girl, you went too far. Maybe, but also, maybe not far enough. Let me ask you this. If you found out your husband, had been emotionally sexting your best friend under your nose for months and had the audacity to seat himself between her and her actual husband for Thanksgiving dinner, would you really just have a calm conversation in private? Because I tried that, believe me. I confronted Evan weeks earlier, gently, with every inch of benefit of the doubt I could muster. Asked if something was going on between them. He laughed, called me paranoid, said Maddie was like a sister. Cool, so now I'm married to Jaime Lannister, apparently. After that, he got sneakier, cleared his notifications, started keeping his phone face down, claimed he was just emotionally close to Maddie because she gets him. You know who else got him? Me, for the last 7 years. Through job losses, panic attacks, his colonoscopy prep, and that one Christmas where his mom said my green bean casserole was a little too experimental. So no, I didn't feel like playing nice anymore. And Maddie, don't get me started on her. She was my ride or die. The friend who helped me move apartments when I was 6 months pregnant, who held my hair back after I drank too much wine at my own baby shower, who cried during our wedding vows and said Evan was the kind of man you pray for. Apparently, she was doing a lot more than praying. But the day after the party, I got a text from her, just one. You could have just talked to me. I stared at it for 10 minutes, laughing so hard I nearly dropped my phone in the sink. Talk to you, girl, I made you a toast. That's communication. Anyway, Evan didn't come home that night. Nor the next. When he finally did show up, it was 3 a.m., and he reeked of bourbon and bad decisions. Slumped on the couch, didn't even try to lie. You made me look like a monster, he mumbled, head in his hands. I didn't even flinch. You are a monster, I just turned the lights on. He tried to spin it, of course, said he never acted on anything, that it was all just emotional support. That Maddie was going through a rough time and he was trying to be there for her. Sure, with his tongue probably. Then came the tears, the groveling, the I never meant to hurt you, the let's fix this, the don't throw away everything we built. And you know what I felt. Nothing. No rage, no grief, no betrayal, just a weird kind of peace. Like when you realize your favorite sweater's been eaten by moths, and you finally stop trying to fix it and just toss it in the bin. I told him to pack a bag. He asked if that meant we were taking space. I said no. It meant I was taking my life back. He slept in the guest room that night. In the morning, he was gone. I changed the locks by lunch. And the best part, people started texting me, secretly, quietly, one by one. I always wondered about them. You were so brave. She flirted with my husband, too. Can I get the recipe for that revenge pie? Okay, that last one was a joke, but still. Turns out I wasn't the only one who saw what was going on. I was just the first to say it out loud, with note cards. And maybe fire. Maybe I blew up Friendsgiving. Maybe I turned my home into a battleground, but I also burned away the lies. And in the ashes, I started finding myself again. I didn't cry until I saw the leftovers. There they were, perfectly stacked in the fridge. Cranberry sauce in the little mason jar, my rosemary garlic potatoes in that chipped white bowl we always bring out for holidays, the stuffing in foil pressed tight like it still had purpose. That's what broke me. Not the betrayal, not the Toastgate aftermath, not even Evan's absence, just the quiet after. Have you ever stood in your kitchen and realized you were the only one who thought something was sacred? Because that's what Friendsgiving was for me, sacred. It wasn't just a dinner, it was our tradition. My tradition. Something I built from scratch with Pinterest boards and cheap wine and the sheer willpower of a woman who believed community could heal almost anything. I hosted every year, rain or shine, pregnancy or flu, and every year Evan would help me hang the string lights and sneak bites of stuffing when he thought I wasn't looking. He used to care, or at least he pretended really well. But now I know the truth. I wasn't the tradition he loved. I was the obligation he tolerated. The backdrop to his spotlight, the safe thing he'd already won. I was the goddamn tablecloth, only noticed when stained. And Maddie was new, she was exciting. She was the what if he kept polishing in his mind like a secret trophy. Turns out, people like Evan don't fall in love. They graze on attention until they're full, then blame you for the indigestion. The Monday after the party, I got a message from his sister. "Hey, I heard what happened. I'm not taking sides, but I hope you're okay." Classic. Not taking sides is what people say when they're definitely taking sides, but want to keep you around for holidays. I didn't respond. What do you even say to someone who watched your relationship unravel like it was cable TV? Instead, I did something else. I wrote a new list. Not a grocery list, not a meal plan. A list of every moment I'd gaslit myself into thinking I was overreacting. Like the time Evan said, Maddie's just really easy to talk to. Or when she stayed late to help clean up, and I walked in on them whispering in the laundry room, her hand grazing his. Or that trip to Asheville, when Evan forgot his phone at home, but somehow still managed to tag her in an Instagram story. Every time I told myself to chill, to not be the jealous wife. Every time I swallowed that gut feeling and washed it down with trust I didn't owe anymore. That list, it was long. And gross. And freeing. Because sometimes you don't realize you've been drowning until you start breathing air again. And yeah, the air stung, but it was mine. That same night, I logged onto our joint Amazon account, changed the password, canceled every subscription he ever added. Goodbye, Audible. Enjoy your sad books in silence, Evan. Then I did something petty. Beautifully, cathartically petty. I created a new Friendsgiving event on Facebook. Friendsgiving, rebuilt from the ashes turkey fire. Caption: come hungry, leave emotionally lighter. BYOB and bring your real selves. I tagged people I trusted, people who didn't pretend not to notice, people who sent me quiet DMs and ugly memes to cheer me up. And you know what? Within an hour, 10 RSVPs. One of them even messaged, "Hell yes, let's burn the stuffing and toast to truth." Maybe I had started a new tradition. A better one. Without the ghosts in the wine glasses, without the crumbs of gaslighting on the tablecloth, without the man who thought he could juggle lives like place settings and not get cut. I still hadn't heard from Evan. And Maddie. She posted a quote on her Instagram story. "Sometimes people leave so better things can come." Yeah, cool, except she wasn't left. She was outed, there's a difference. And the better thing, it's me, sweetheart. Because the woman who used to build the perfect night for everyone else. She's done, she's building something new now, for herself. And the next time someone tries to play games at my table, they better bring napkins, because I bite back. 3 days after I nuked my marriage over mashed potatoes, I opened Instagram and nearly choked on my coffee. There she was. Maddie. Posting a soft launch of her new relationship. The photo, 2 wine glasses on a patio table, a man's hand, Evan's hand, just barely in the frame. Caption: some endings are really just beginnings. Dizzy. Girl, you bold. I stared at the post like it was a live feed of betrayal. Not because I didn't expect it, but because I did. And still, it felt like watching someone break into your house while wearing the sweater you knitted them. Like we had history, decades of it. She'd been my maid of honor. I'd thrown her a baby shower in my living room. She called my mom, Mama J. We had matching tattoos from a wild night in Charleston that we swore to never tell our future kids about. And now she was soft-launching my ex-husband like he was some chic new subscription box. I didn't comment, I didn't even like it, but I did screenshot it and send it to 3 people with zero chill. Responses ranged from, "No F ***** ing way. She's allergic to shame, I swear." Plot twist, they name their baby Gravy. It made me laugh for like 2 minutes, and then the silence crept in. The kind of silence that hits after the storm. When you realize the dust has settled and the only thing left is you, and your thoughts, and the mess. Because let's be honest, I didn't just lose Evan. I lost her too. My person. My accidental soulmate. The one I'd call when Evan forgot our anniversary, or when I had a weird rash, or when I thought I was pregnant, and took 3 tests in a Target bathroom while she waited outside with a venti latte and gum. It wasn't just a love triangle, it was a demolition. She knew him through me. She used my stories, my trust, my pain, to carve a door into my life and then walk through it like she was invited. And Evan. I started to realize he didn't fall for her. He fell into her, like a drunk man reaching for the nearest railing. That's all she ever was, proximity. Because real men don't trade in loyalty for convenience. They don't use emotional connection as a smokescreen for boredom. And they sure as hell don't gaslight you into silence while they write poems in their notes app to someone else. A week passed. No apology, no real explanation, just whispers. Jen told me they were official, that Evan had moved in with Maddie, and that the word poly was now being tossed around like a get-out-of-jail-free card. Cool, you can be ethically non-monogamous all you want, but not when the ethics part gets skipped. And that's when the guilt hit me. Not for what I did, but for all the years I spent protecting them, defending them, justifying them, pretending I didn't notice the micro-flirting, the long hugs, the she's like a sister lines. I protected my marriage like it was fine china, while they were eating off paper plates and planning a picnic without me. So I did what I should have done months ago. I took everything that reminded me of them, the framed photos, the shared board games, the scented candle she gave me last Christmas, and packed it all into a box labeled Trash Fire Memories. And then I drove to the dump. No dramatic bonfire, no Carrie Underwood soundtrack, just me, in leggings, hurling the box into a dumpster like it owed me rent. It felt incredible. Cleansing, even. That night, I poured a glass of wine, put on some Lizzo, and opened a blank Google Doc. Title: Friendsgiving Manifesto 2. Rule 1, no cheaters at the table. Rule 2, if you flirt in the laundry room, you host next year. Rule 3, toasts must be approved by the actual hostess. Rule 4, loyalty is the main course. This time, it was gonna be different. Smaller guest list, bigger love. No shadows, no secrets, just honest-to-God real people who know the difference between thankful and thirsty. And as I typed, I realized something kind of wild. For the first time in years, I wasn't planning a dinner for Evan's friends, or Maddie's emotional emergencies, or for a relationship I was trying to duct tape together. I was planning something for me. And it felt like coming home. It's been exactly 1 month since I nuked Friendsgiving like it was my personal Hiroshima. Since I set a toast trap so explosive, it sent half the table into therapy and the other half into silence. And you know what? I'd do it again. But first, let me tell you what happened after the ashes settled. Evan never apologized. Oh, he tried calling. Once. Left a voicemail that started with, "Hey," so I guess that was intense, and ended with, "I just hope you're okay." No mention of Maddie, no mention of lying, just vague, squishy nothingness like a man trying to mop up a flood with a paper towel. I didn't respond. I forwarded it to my best friend from college, the real one, and she just sent back. LMAO, he sounds like a man who cheated on a group project and still wants credit. Perfect summary. Maddie, meanwhile, went full rebrand. New hair color. New podcast, I swear to God, it's called Sacred Entanglements. New captions about alignment and divine timing with moon emojis and crystal hashtags. I kept quiet. Because when people are that loud online, it usually means they're hiding something offline. I heard through the grapevine that her husband, ex-husband now, filed for divorce 2 weeks after Toastagedon. Apparently, he found old texts, screenshots, even a playlist titled October Nights Dizzy that was just Bon Iver, Phoebe Bridgers, and one accidentally added Nickelback song. He must have been drunk. He left. Maddie kept the apartment. Evan moved in. And me. I did something better. I hosted another dinner. I know, insane, right? like a woman returning to the scene of the crime in heels and fresh lipstick. But this time, it wasn't Friendsgiving. It was thanks for leaving dinner. Invite only. 12 women. No boyfriends, no husbands, no side chick energy. Just lasagna, red wine, and honesty. We lit candles. We burned sage. Someone cried over a cheating fiancé. Someone else confessed she'd been ghosted by a guy who owned a parrot and still somehow had the audacity. And in the middle of it all, someone raised a glass and said, "To the woman who turned her husband's affairs into a performance art piece." I laughed so hard, I spilled wine on my sweater. And in that moment, I didn't feel broken, I didn't feel bitter, I felt legendary. Because here's the thing they don't tell you when your life burns down in front of a dozen people, and a pie you never got to serve. You get to rebuild it. From scratch. Without their crumbs on your floor, without their voices in your head, without their names on your RSVP list. Now I wake up in a bed that's mine. I decorate my home without asking if Evan thinks that's too much. I go on solo coffee dates. I flirt with strangers. I make loud decisions. And next Thanksgiving, I'm hosting again. But this time, we're doing it my way. No seating charts. No performative gratitude speeches. Just real people, real stories, real stuffing. And yes, the recipe is still mine. He didn't get that in the split. Because I finally realized I was the tradition. The warmth, the magic, the reason they came back year after year. They just forgot that the woman behind the mashed potatoes had claws under her oven mitts. So yeah, burn the seating chart. Keep the crown. And pass the damn pie. Because this queen, she's not taking anyone's crumbs ever again. Subscribe to my Mia's Stories YouTube channel for raw, emotional stories and authentic insights that encourage healing, growth, and understanding. Don't forget to be part of a supportive space where stories inspire and lessons resonate. What do you think about this story? Let us know in the comments. Your opinion truly matters to us, and we're here for you.